every 100 feet, give or take, or 50 feet, depending on the spacing. I'm gonna get wet right now, of sprinklers around people's houses, structures, the community. Liver Gulch and Snyder all had the same setup configured, and we just took the other set down. And as you can tell, it gets that 360 degrees from where we set them up, and they just spray for hours, and we run the pump and the water, and we just continue to wet down the fire's edge before it gets there, and that becomes our main control objective. Using anywhere from like 25 gallons to 50 gallons a shift.
Yes.
Continuing in all these neighborhoods, running these pumps and keeping these things day shift.
Yeah.
Night shift depends on the hours, but you know, you get that relative humidity comes in and sets in the fire, slows it down. Mostly day shift. That's what was my leader's intent to my folks, was make sure they're topped off, make sure they're running, make sure we got water, continue that, give us the best chance of success. The sprinklers are all set up in a hose lay, and you can disconnect the sprinklers and put your firefighting hose on the end of it. And so it's vice versa. They're just different fitting. You just put the fitting, the reducer adapter onto that 1.5 to 1 inch, and bam, you have your lateral, and you can start fighting fire. So we have them set up in the structure prep, structure defense, and then once the fire gets here, then you can swap, put your hose out, and now you can start direct attacking the fire.
So then you don't
have your pumpkin, usually about 1,500 gallons. They say 1,800, but usually when you get it all filled up and the ring's up there, it's about all you get out of them. Now these two black hoses right here, between the two is a siphon. So as you take all the air pockets out of this hose, this hard suction hose, hold it, bring it over, water balances out. So it doesn't drain one and then the other, but it drains equally between the two. And that's a trick that we use. You could tell these trees behind us weren't limbed, and so we brought the crews in and the engines in, and we just started prepping and cutting all that ladder fuel above people's houses. And that's what we've been doing, and moving the brush across the street away from other people's houses, and then you know, we're just building that, I won't say a fort, but you're fortifying what you have and making the community a little bit safer for, you know, fire to come down off the hill or come from the side. We're kind of expecting both those things to happen. But the night shift did a great job of getting out in front and firing out just a little bit and keeping this thing square on our terms, and turned the corner and ran into the rocks. And by the time we came out here, all of my structure threat had been mitigated by them cutting it off with fire and just bringing it down and tying it back into the rocks, and we were done. We solidly held it where it's at now. And so that was a huge success. Night shift did a great job. The hotshot crews did a fantastic job, especially Lewis and Clark, Mount Taylor, and Lolo hotshots. All three of them were intimately with the plan, doing the firing, holding. They did a fantastic job.